Okay, so you have scheduled your first float appointment. How exciting! It's just going to be awesome. I wanted to give you some tips and tricks to make your very first float session as successful as possible. So you know what to expect and you know what the drill is. So we're going to go down to the float room when you get here and we're going to talk about all the things you do, but I'm going to give you a heads up. So the first question that I always start with is, do you mind watering your ears? I mean, some people do and some people don't, but that's the first thing we have to establish. And if you don't want water in your ears, then you need to use the earplugs. So most centers do provide earplugs. A lot of us use the silicone earplugs, and you need to put those in your ears before you take your first shower because wet skin does not work with getting a good seal on that. And if you don't mind water in your ears, that's fine. No problem. Just know that that salt water is going to get in your ears because when you float, the water line comes up on your forehead, across your temples, and under your chin. And so you feel like you're just a face floating in the pod, and it's an awesome experience. But if you don't use earplugs, you just need to make a conscious effort to really rinse your ears out when you get out. So, you get some soap and water in your hands and you just really rinse out your ears in the shower after you float. If you don't, then the salt can dry in your ears. And when you open your mouth, it sounds like styrofoam. So if you hear styrofoam after your float, go rinse your ears. It's not really a big deal. Most float centers also have a ear wash solution that's a 50-50 rubbing alcohol and vinegar. So just feel free to use that. It helps dry out your ear. A couple of Q-tips, you're good. Okay, so now we've got that out of the way. Earplugs or no earplugs. If you're going to do earplugs, put them in before your shower. Then you're going to take your first shower. And when you take your first shower, you want it to be just a tepid shower, not a cold shower, but not a hot hotel shower. If you take a hot hotel shower, then you are going to be cold in the float unit. So just take a shower, regular shower. Some centers have an exfoliating washcloth, some don't, but you definitely want to use that washcloth and soap up, scrub your body. The better you exfoliate your body, the better you're going to absorb the magnesium, that's why you're here, right? Okay. So take a shower, rinse off, wash your hair, make sure you rinse all that soap off, let that go down the shower drain. We don't need it in the float unit. So then blot your face dry. And the reason you're going to do that is because you don't want to have any water droplets on your face that you're tempted to touch because then you're going to get salt water in your eyes. So there's a spray bottle here for that. It just has tap water in it. But you can spray the salt water out of your eyes. Salt water is not going to harm your eyes. It just doesn't feel very good. So it's a common occurrence. That's why I'm telling you about it because it happens to nearly everybody. Then you're going to get in the float unit. And depending on the type of unit it is, but you're going to get in the unit. And then I know it sounds scary. You're going to close the lid. Close the lid, close the door, whatever the device is for whatever type of unit you're going to be floating in. That's what you're going to do. And then if you have space issues, because we never use the word claustrophobia in the float room, but if you have space issues, then I encourage you to find the light switch and turn off the light that's inside of your float unit. It sounds counterintuitive, but when you are in that float unit, your body is not touching anything. You are literally floating on the water. And from that, being in dark, in silence, and not touching anything, you have no proprioception or signals coming into your brain to tell you where you are. So when you turn off that light, you no longer know if you're in a bathtub or if you're in a lake. And then just enjoy your float time. When it's time to get out, at my center, music fades in to tell you it's time to yawn and stretch and come to life. Turn on that light, do some stretches. Just everything you do in the float unit, you want to do slowly so that you don't splash salt water in your eyes. And then I like to tell people that, if you're floating because you have any aches or pains, sometimes those aches or pains feel more intense while you're floating. That usually is just kind of something that comes on. I don't really think the pain is worse. I think that because there's no other signals coming in, you have this and you're just more aware of it. So Most float centers are going to have some form of a neck support because it is a natural reflex to hold your head up out of the water while you're floating. And so it's a conscious effort to really relax your head and just get into it. So if you're struggling with that, use one of the devices. At my float center, I have a halo that fits around behind your head. I have a neck doodle. It's like a life jacket for your head that comes up on your shoulders. And then I have a noodle as well. So you can use the halo, the noodle, or the doodle. Then when you're finished with them, you want to make sure that we know you've used them so we can get all the salt off of them. When it's time to get out of your float, remember anytime you exit the float unit, you need to use caution because the solution's a little bit slippery. So use caution, hop out, get into the shower, and just rinse off and make sure you rinse your ears if you didn't use earplugs or if your earplugs leaked. And then we'll see you when you get back from your trip. So have a great journey and thanks for floating.